But I feel like I hacked this system because I was able to pay so much less. After about 3 years, I started making $80,000 a year. I did not starve my way to my first 6 figures net worth. I wasn't living on rice and beans. You don't have money to invest into passive income, passive investments, so don't focus on that. Your first 100K is gonna be the hardest 100K because you're still building the foundations of your wealth. You're building the skills, habits, identity, the money, and of course, it's gonna take time, energy, some tears along the way maybe, but I promise you it is gonna be so worth it and it's gonna all pay off sooner, especially once everything starts to compound. Now I wanna set the stage, give some context, and say that I did not starve my way to my first 6 figures net worth. I wasn't living on rice and beans. In fact, I was splurging on expensive, questionable things. I traveled to Japan, to New York City, to the West Coast a few times. I didn't live at home either. I lived north of downtown Toronto, which was still a fairly expensive place to live in. All this to say, you can still have fun while building your first 6 figures net worth. And in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you my experiences, my mistakes I've made, and 7 important habits to help you build your first 6-figure net worth. Now, the first habit is to practice building money-making skills and focus on earned income. So you're early in your career or business, or at least in your personal finances, you don't have money to invest into passive income, passive investments, so don't focus on that. Don't try to diversify so early on. Instead, concentrate on earned income, on building and growing important skills. I'll share with you 2 examples. So when I was 21, I started my first full-time job. My base starting salary was $60,000 and my bonus salary increases happened every 6 months depending on my performance. Now, I approached work as an opportunity to grow, to learn, to make mistakes. I was responsible for leading my own projects and I was responsible for the delivery. I had different challenges. I had roadblocks. I made mistakes, but I took these opportunities to learn and develop my skills. I also had to deliver these presentations to C-suite executives, which is really scary. Like, they were mainly male dominated as well, but I saw those as opportunities to practice, to learn, and become a better leader. Over time, I became more confident and I blew people's minds away with my presentations. They even gave me like 2 rounds of applauses, which was unheard of. After about 3 years, I started making $80,000 a year. Early on in your career, you're a sponge. You want to learn and absorb as much as you can. Don't be afraid to take risks, to make mistakes, because people are more lenient. You get to also learn a lot more and you get to grow and develop even more important skills. Now, when I was 23, still working my corporate job, I started building my side hustle online, teaching personal finances and stock investing. For the first 7 to 8 months, I made $0. But during this period of time, I really focused on building really important skills like creating content, practicing showing up confidently and consistently as a leader who was delivering value to my community. Now, in the beginning, I had awkward moments. Like, I remember offering this person a 3-month program for only $50, teaching her personal finances and stock investing, and she just outright rejected me. And I also worked with 3 free beta clients who later just ended up ghosting me. But over time, as I started practicing these important skills, I started attracting clients who were excited to work with me and to pay me $1,500, $2,000, and they would do the work I would assign them. They would show up. So the first important habit is to double down on money-making skills, on improving them. This is going to help you set the foundation so that you can earn more from these skills, and then you can take these earnings and then invest into passive income. Now, my second tip here is to decide, are you going to over-deliver in your job or do the bare minimums really well? Allow me to explain. Let's be real here. We all know it's so hard to live off of one income today. Many Gen Zs, they have side hustles because company salaries are not keeping up with inflation. But you also don't want to burn yourself out. So the real question here is, in the long term, do you see yourself, like, are you happy with working for a company, for an employer, or are you happier working for yourself? If you chose the former and you do enjoy working for a company, you like the safety, the stability, maybe you have a lot of career growth opportunities, then over-deliver in your job. Exceed expectations, go above and beyond, build strong networking relationships, because these are the things you need to do to negotiate for a higher bonus, salary increase, for promotions. But if you opted in for the latter, maybe your career doesn't have a lot of growth potential, or the income is capped, or you're just like, I don't want to work for someone in the future, then do the bare minimums for your job really well. Now, I'm not telling you to go and slack off. Instead, I'm saying just do what is in your job description and don't exceed it. Like, you don't have to go overtime. You don't have to over deliver, because you want to focus your time and energy on developing money-making skills, valuable skills outside of your job. You want to focus on creating your side hustle. And that was what I did. Outside of work hours, I would learn a lot about stock investing and personal finances, so I developed a new skill there, and then I started developing new skills when I started teaching people about it, and that was how I created another stream of income. I truly believe that we all have skills right now that we can monetize online, to create content online, and to create new streams of income. Now, the third habit here is to get close proximity to wiser brains and experiences. What got you here is not going to get you over there. Your current thoughts, beliefs, identities, skills, and knowledge, they got you to where you are today, but it's not going to take you to the next level. If you want to take it to the next level, you need to upgrade all of these. And having a coach or having a mentor is going to help you big time. They're going to speed up this process for you, and it's going to save you so much time, energy, and money. In one of my 9-to-5 positions, my boss was my mentor, and she was incredible. She literally taught me how to present myself, how to act in front of these men who were the CEOs, the VPs of our company, and that helped me so much when I later had to deliver these presentations to the executives. She taught me office politics and how to approach my work in a smarter way. Had I not learned any of this from her, it would have taken me years to learn it the hard way. And when I started building my online coaching business, I invested in a course which helped me understand the bigger picture of how to use social media. But when I invested in personalized coaching, that was a game changer, because it taught me how to think smarter, how to build entrepreneurial skills, and to unlearn old traditional 9-to-5 mentalities that were holding me back from playing bigger online. Again, if I did not invest in myself, it would have taken me so much longer to learn all these important things. It is so worth it to invest in your time, energy, and wisdom, because that is all priceless. Now, the fourth habit is self-confidence is going to help you save so much money. If you're not fully confident in yourself, you're going to be easily swayed by all these Instagram influencers, by these companies that are always going to be promoting you the latest, newest clothing or makeup product. Back in the day, I was so obsessed with buying the latest, trendiest clothing or makeup, but I realized that I would get this initial spike of excitement, of this dopamine hit, but after the next day or two, it would all go downhill, and I would be looking for the next purchase to fulfill me. If you're in that mindset, that cycle, you're gonna be spending so much money and you'll never feel fulfilled. Whereas when you're confident, you can look at something and say, ooh, that looks really nice, but I don't need it. Like, I'm happy with who I am. I don't need that to make me feel more beautiful, pretty, more lovable. It feels so good being in this headspace, knowing that you don't need something to make you feel more enough. This is not just great for my wallet, but really good for my emotional health, knowing that I am enough without having to buy all these things. Unfortunately, in today's current capitalistic society, companies capitalize on people's feelings of not enoughness, not feeling pretty or beautiful enough to make you buy the newest, hottest product. They're convincing you that you need this to feel pretty, you need that to feel more lovable, you need this for more Instagram likes. Don't play that game. I am playing that game. Instead, I now only follow a few influencers who I genuinely really like, and I have unsubscribed from all these email newsletters that have constantly been promoting me all these sales, and it's helped me so much with just finding so much peace in my mind, my wallet, my emotional health. Practice honoring yourself. You do not need to spend more to make yourself happier, to make yourself feel more beautiful or more lovable. You can give that all to yourself right now. Now, self-confidence can also help you make more money. When I started showing up online, when I started making money, I realized that the more tapped in I was to my personal power, the more confident I was in who I was and the value I had to offer, the wisdom I had when I shared my content, the more people trusted me and the more excited, more willing they were to pay me even high ticket prices. It just felt easier for me to show up online and make sales. Like, people would tell me they were already sold with working with me before we had a chance to talk. So I was selling a course through my Instagram stories, and every time I posted, there would be like 5-6 DMs from people who were excited they would pay me right on the spot. Do the inner confidence work to grow outside of your comfort zone, to lean into your personal power. Practice rewiring your thoughts, your beliefs, your identity. Elevate your lifestyle, how you're taking care of yourself. The more you practice this, the safer and more confident you would feel when you go to your boss to negotiate for a higher salary, or to show up online and share your truth and attract your aligned clients and community. This is going to serve you in so many areas of your life. Now, the 5th habit here is to align with the right lifestyle, priorities, and people at this stage in your life. Now, rent is one of the biggest expenses for most people, but I feel like I hacked this system because I was able to pay so much less, and that allowed me to invest so much more into the stock market and into experiences. Like, I would invest $2,000, $3,000 a month into stocks, which really helped me expedite my wealth. So what did I do? It wasn't the sexiest thing, but I lived with housemates and that really helped me save so much money. I was only paying $500, $550 a month plus utilities, and my friends would be paying more than triple that to live in downtown Toronto. And that worked for me back then because I wasn't even at home most of the time. I would be working from 9 to 5, and then I would go to the gym to work out and then hang out with friends. I would honestly only be coming back home to sleep. Obviously today, I do value having my own space, and if you are a person who really values having a sacred space, you want control over your space, then by all means, spend more to have your own place if that's going to help you with your mental, emotional health. Now, another big expense is traveling, and I got myself a really good travel credit card, which gave me free round-trip flights to New York City, to the West Coast a few times, and I was able to save thousands of dollars. So make sure you find the right credit card for you that helps you maximize your savings and that is in alignment with how you want to spend your money. Another thing you want to be mindful of is the people you surround yourself with. Get honest with how people make you feel and if they are worth your time and money. Because I dated someone who I could not see a future with, but I just allowed it to drag on for months, and that made me spend so much money on food, Uber, travels, and if I invested all that money into the stock market, let's just say I would be a lot richer. But I'm over it, lessons learned, and I'm just relaying the lesson to you. After that relationship, though, I started surrounding myself with a lot more personal finance gurus from YouTube, podcasts, books, and that improved my money and my mental well-being. Now, the 6th habit is to track your financial records on a weekly or at least a bi-weekly basis. I feel like tracking once a month is not enough. When you track weekly or bi-weekly, you're so much more in touch with your money. You feel like you have more control over it and you can get a lot more intentional with it. When you start tracking your money, you might be really surprised with where your money is going, like if it's going to some subscription you no longer use, or if it's going towards food or clothing that you've realized is not worth your money. It is so important to take some time to ask yourself what makes you really happy, what is not worth your hard-earned money, and what kind of life do you want to live? What kind of person do you want to be? Now, the 7th habit here is to heal your money wounds and to normalize having money conversations. I used to think it seemed greedy, selfish, just not feminine, and just impolite, especially being a woman, to talk about money. But that was coming from a place of lack and insecurity, and I had to do the work to heal it. Instead, I practiced seeing money conversations as a form of self-love, of confidence, of practicing healthy money habits and boundaries. Once I started detaching my self-worth from money, I actually started to attract money even more because, for one, I was able to then feel comfortable looking at my bank statements, my credit card statements, and then be more intentional with how I actually wanted to manage my money. There are people who attach their self-worth to money and they get really anxious about looking at money. They avoid looking at their statements and they go into more debt and they just don't manage their money as well. Once you get comfortable with talking about money, you're also going to feel a lot more safe and comfortable when you go up to your boss to negotiate for a higher bonus. I would be able to go up to him and say, hey, I believe I deserve a higher bonus, and here's the reason why. And I would pull out the receipts of the value I would bring to the table. And that worked. I got a higher bonus. And once I got comfortable talking about money, I started showing up in my side hustle confidently and consistently, sharing my services, telling people they can work with me. And that allowed me to attract sales, people coming in excited to work with me for the value they're going to get in exchange for money. If I never showed up to share about my services, my prices online, I would have never been able to make money online, and I would have never been able to create the impact I created in other people's lives. So if you feel uncomfortable about money conversations, I urge you to do the inner work. Start doing the healing work and ask yourself, where is this coming from? And how do I actually want to feel when I have these money conversations? Because personally, I want to feel comfortable. I want to feel abundant, generous, expanded by these money conversations instead of shrinking myself, instead of making it a taboo subject. The more I talk about money, the more I help other people, and the more money I get to attract. After all, money is needed for survival and to elevate our lifestyles. Don't let ego get in your way. So those were the 7 habits that truly helped me build my first 6 figures net worth by 23 while still having fun and enjoying my life. Let me know which habit resonated with you the most, and I will see you in the next video.